you know what? I posted a short recently about basically posing the question, should the CBT... Wait, no, so we'll try that again. We'll try that again with a language that's coherent. Oh, yeah! Okay. Don't look at the crack of my arse. I posted a short recently posing the question, should filtering be allowed on a CBT or not? In that short, I don't believe I made any kind of statement saying that I think it should or it shouldn't. I wanted it to leave it open. I'm surprised no one's accused me of rage bait yet, because if it was rage bait, I would have said outright that it should be banned. It wouldn't be a question. It would just be me trying to annoy people. I was genuinely asking the question. But as my personal opinion on the matter is no, because the CBT offers an incredible amount of freedom for young people, and the last thing you want to do is start banning things they can and can't do. They're already restricted to a 125. Poor little things. In fact, my take on it really is that the 50cc restriction should be thrown in the bin immediately. You should start with the power of a 125 from all ages, and then after the 2-year point, you can either retake your CBT. I don't really believe in the, because they've got that thing that they proposed a while back about not being able to sit on a CBT for too long. I don't think that's right either, because I do know at least one person that has said they would probably struggle to get themselves through the theory test, which is fair enough, right? It's fair enough. And this way it gives an option to people that might not be that way inclined to have some sort of access to their own mobility without having to rely on like public transport. What? No one does that. No one likes that. Yeah, so instead of just simply renewing it after 2 years, once you've done the first 2 years, you have the option then to do an assessment, right? And you can have the assessment done not through like the DVLA, but through the actual riding schools, to maybe funnel a little bit more cash their way. Instead, like for the price of a CBT, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but let's say roughly the same price as a CBT. They can give you an assessment, a riding assessment, where they'll do a little bit more on handling skills, not like a full, mod 1, where you have to have this bang on, like basically where they'll assess your capabilities. Are they letting that car out? I don't think so, because if someone leaves that gap for that guy, then I don't really want to be doing any filtering in that location. Now it should be safe. Yeah, so it's not a full mod 1 with you must be at this speed specifically and you can't do this, or if you put a foot down you're done. But just like an assessment to say, yes, this person is competent on the bike, they can handle it, they have learned their lessons well. Whee! Like that. And then have like a maybe like a sort of like a show me tell me situation, where they'll go, show me this on a bike, tell me what this sign means, what do you do in this situation? Do you know what I mean? Add some questions roughly on basic road law, not like what's your stopping distance with this, or, do you know that kind of nonsense that you don't really need to give a shit about. You're just gonna keep going, aren't you? You're a fucking moron. And then I'm just gonna go to the front on the zigzags anyway, because I'm in a bad mood. Things like, should you filter the front on zigzags? The answer would be no. Naughty, don't do that. Oh yeah, and if you pass the assessment, you're given a new CBT where you can have a 250 with L plates, which would incentivize riders who are doing it for the love of the bike and not just getting a CBT for a job. It gives them a reason to improve to think about their riding style, to think about learning, you know, what they should and should be doing on the road. Because let's be honest with the way the system works, it makes more sense to literally sit on on your CBT until you're old enough to do like the direct access, which is that's the route that saves the most money. But it leaves you, if you get your CBT done at a young age, it leaves you on a 125 for many years. And at least this would give you a route to, you know, give you a little bit of a bump in power. You know, if you watch like the younger people when, like, you know, they've got a group of friends and they're all on 125s and they all start to slowly, you know, do their like A license or A2 license, and you just see them like start all at 125s just start getting dropped by their mates. So it's soul destroying. At least to be able to put up a bit of a fight in a 250, like a little 250 Ninja, ripping it down the road. I do believe the CBT should be a little bit more comprehensive, though. I mean, fortunately, the place I went to, Aintree. Oh fuck! I'll have to put the. I'll link it in case anyone's remotely interested. It didn't feel like they were like half-arsing the training. Do you know what I mean? Like just going through the motions for a paycheck. It felt like they were trying to impart some knowledge on the people that I paid for it. But I mean, to me, it's only like 4, 5, 6 years ago. You'd think I'd be able to remember, but I can't. If I remember correctly, CBT had we sat round the desk with a child, like a child's play map of a road system, and then there was just like questions on, you know, if you're approaching this, what do you do? What's this sign? What does this sign mean? Why is a triangle upside down? Why is this triangle not upside down? Why is a stop sign in this shape? Just really basic questions that I essentially knew from the fact that I had a full driving license and had for many years. So I didn't really think at the time, but for me it was like a yeah blah blah blah. This is fucking basic knowledge, isn't it? But for someone who has absolutely zero previous knowledge, yes, I'll just go on the dual carriageway. Yeah, for someone with absolutely zero previous knowledge or driving experience, those questions wouldn't. Thinking about it, it's sort of like the bare minimum of what does a stop sign look like, which in the UK at least aren't exactly the kind of, like in America it's you will stop at a stop sign. In the UK it's kind of like oh look, a stop sign. You know, you think they'd probably talk a little bit more about maybe road priority and positioning and stuff like that, but this is all basic stuff. And then you walk the bikes down the road to the little area. You're taught the clutch bike point, how to slowly start, how to slowly stop. Then there's a U-turn. I think it's a U-turn. And then it's a discussion about blind spots. Then how to turn left or right from a junction. Handy stuff. You know, handy. It's good to know that. You know, if you don't do a shoulder check, because what they do is basically the instructor was a woman. She was behind me, who were Mrs., and she'd step out of the view of the mirrors so you couldn't see her. And then she would then stay in your blind spot as she slowly approached until she was literally on top of you, who were Mrs. And that would be the sort of demonstration of, you know, this is the blind spot, you know, and someone can easily sneak right in. Whee! Just like me, sneaking right in. Whoop whoop whoop. So perhaps a little bit more emphasis on the highway code. Not a huge amount, just a little bit more. And then maybe some slow control, a bit of cone weavage, a bit of advice on filtering, even if you don't do it, you know. And then have those skills put to the test 2 years later and get awarded twice the power, relatively speaking. Twice the CC anyway. God, I should be in charge of the world, me. I come up with all the best ideas.